Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this year's South Bank Sky Arts Outstanding Achievement Award, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Thank you so much. What am I doing here? This is just extraordinary. Thank you so much for this. It's really, truly an extraordinary honour. And I'm incredibly flattered and a bit moved and choked up and proud. And despite the casual head attire, I do take it very seriously. I must quickly explain the reason why I'm wearing this. It isn't because I wish to remain aloof and anonymous receiving a outstanding contribution to the Arts Achievement Award. I think my cover is blown on that one. It's because I don't want you to be distracted by my rather befuddled gratitude by the horror story that is my haircut that lies underneath this. And also, I have to explain this because I know my mum will be watching at home going, oh God, he's turned into one of those people wearing hats and glasses at public events. Trust me, Mum, you've got a lot less explaining to do at the church lunch by me keeping this hat on. Okay, look, so I still remain ridiculously surprised that I'm up here receiving this award. I think it's clear that rather like a lot of incidences recently in Western democracies, the Russians clearly have had a hand in it. Vlad is obviously the Cumberbitch of all times because there is no other rational explanation. But unlike the surprised faces of recent benefactors of Russian interference in politics, potentially, I got told I'd won this ahead of today. Even then, I thought it was some kind of prank by a tech-savvy friend pretending to be Melvin Bragg. But even when I made sure it really was him and the committee, who I owe a huge amount of thanks to, I was convinced that Vlad had spiked their cornflakes. How could I be in a group of past recipients of this award that includes Sylvie, who we saw earlier, Julie Walters, Michael Frayn, J.K. Browning, Richard Eyre, who was up there, Helen Mirren, Judi Dench, Tom Stoppard, who was also up there, Simon Rattle, Harold Pinter, just to name a few. I mean, it's ludicrous. I'm very glad that this isn't a lifetime achievement award, as I am only 41, and my last medical wasn't all that bad. So this beautiful, beautiful award, and thank you for that, is a spur to more life and hopefully more achievement. I have a lot of people to thank. You'll be glad to know I won't thank all of them, but one of them is up on this stage with me. Melvin, you know, today is another proof of it. Like a lot of people in this room and the nation at large, I've been truly inspired from a very young age by watching the South Bank show, listening to extraordinary Radio 4 broadcasts in our time, and your inexhaustible enthusiasm for celebrating, examining and unearthing the broadest range of culture, artists, thinkers, ideas, institutions. I mean, really, you my parents, one of whom you saw just then, Tim and Wanda, whose love and respect in our industry means that I will always be thought of as your son and not the other way around, and I'm very happy about that. I love you, I love making you proud with my work, and you've invested so much unconditional love and energy in me, but my biggest achievement will always be to make you proud of how I conduct myself in the world, and on the rare occasions I do achieve that, it's only through following your shining example, and that of Trax and Emily. I love you and miss you both, and that of my wife Sophie, my darling best friend. Your work, your humour, your brilliance and support and good sense, and groundedness has kept me grounded and elevated me all at once, as have our amazing boys. And thank you for everything you've given me in my life. My team, John Grant and Biddy Lazarus, Tara, Tracy Jacobs and all at UTA and Conway Van Gelder, my best friend and business partner who runs Sunny March. I know you have bladders, I'm not going to go on long, but it's very important I mention these people. Adam Ackland and Karen Maskell, my sister from another mother, lots of love to her as well. You've all been instrumental in any professional recognition I have ever received, so this is definitely shared with all of you. And thousands more have got me here, but I'd just like to mention a few key mentors and teachers. Martin Tyrrell, an English teacher and a brilliant theatre director, as was Jeremy Lemon, a brilliant Elizabethan scholar inspiring schoolboys to read Shakespeare as if it was modern prose and to understand it as a performative text. Glenn Smart and Donald Fowler-Watt for recognising that giving aims and responsibilities to a wayward child's energy could result in something positive. Michael Holt, Rodney Cottier, Glyn MacDonald and Colin Cook, to name but a few. In my further education since then, I've learned every day of my life from working with extraordinary directors, writers, casting directors, producers and of course fellow actors, Lou Brealey and Mark amongst them here today. But I thought it important to highlight teachers and mentors by name because of the continuing struggle we have in this country with cuts to the funding of the arts in education. As has been talked a lot of, Chichi earlier, the creative industries in this country generate £92 billion a year. That's not an emotive argument, that's economics. And yet the funding cuts in education for arts in schools is very worrying at this time. And a recent study of 1,200 secondary schools found that 90% had cut back on arts teachers, facilities and equipment. Since 2010, there's been a drop of 28% in pupils taking arts GCSEs, which is a direct correspondence to the number of arts teachers being trained. This means that the future of everything we stand for, everything we've celebrated in this room, and everything that we are good at in this room, my God, what an inspiring and humbling array of talent has been on display to make that a fact, is threatened. And so many events like this can go for, I don't know, profit over people, the publicity or ego, or the thing of publicising a film beyond it just having a life in the cinema. But this is a very special event. It's an event unlike any other award ceremony, and it demonstrates how rich and diverse the arts in this country are across the board. So hopefully, for those in positions of power potentially watching this, have the power to reshape policy, they can see that their fiscal and social worth has been celebrated here tonight. And the evidence is brilliantly apparent in every one of you in this room. So I'd just like to wrap up by saying I feel incredibly honoured to be part of this room, let alone standing up here talking to you all. And I'm about to finish, you'll be briefed here. It's reward enough to do a job that I love. It's reward enough to be gifted the amount of opportunities I've had in my life from the beginning to this point. And I promise and vow to carry on making the most of them and opening as many doors as I possibly can for those who have had less opportunities than I have had in my very fortunate life. So thank you to Melvin and to everyone at the South Bank Show Awards for this. And as Winston Churchill said, this is not the beginning of the end, this is just perhaps the end of the beginning. Thank you.